Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Romie. I bring together the worlds of brain science, integrative medicine, and mindfulness to help success driven professionals perform. And today I had such a beautiful and unique experience. I'm here, if you're wondering, in the Delta Sky Club in JFK. I was just out in Long Island this morning, and I want to share a beautiful story of an ordinary school district. I tell you, for those of you who may not know or have heard me speak, I typically have the honor to work with Fortune 500 companies, professional athletes, large global associations to talk about mindful leadership and stress management using mindfulness-based techniques and the brain science that goes along with it. The number one question I get from audience members is, how can I help my children? They are anxious and they worried about ADHD and their digital devices. Well, I want to tell you what an ordinary public school district in Long Island is doing. You'll see a picture on my Facebook feed. I give great credit to the leaders. It starts with a leader who is dedicated and open-minded and open-hearted. And Superintendent Marie Testa of the North Bellmore School District, it's a school district just of elementary schools, joined 6 years ago, and over time decided that not only was she going to improve processes in the school district, which is obviously always a priority, but instead of just focusing on business, she was going to focus on the teachers and the other administrators. So it's creating a people-driven culture. And over the last 6 years, she brought in the concepts of gratitude and finding those small miracles. So this morning, we talked about mindfulness and mindful leadership and allowing love to lead the way. It sounds really radical, doesn't it, for a public school system? So what is the few highlights that I wanted to share that we discussed as a group today? Number one, mindfulness and meditation is not a trend. It is being embraced in the mental health community and corporate America for emotional well-being, and schools and children who are succeeding know that just beyond homework and learning what's in the books, that raising all children with emotional intelligence and emotional control is key. And mindfulness is a beautiful path. When I teach mindfulness in schools, it's a way to train the brain for better performance and staying calm. So it starts with the leadership. So we discussed the superintendent, her team embracing it, and teachers. And now what happens if all the teachers don't embrace it? Because it's weird to say we're going to bring meditation concepts into the school, emotional intelligent concepts into the school. I always say find a spark. I got to meet, for instance, Judy, a second grade teacher who brought in gratitude practices, a pause for gratitude practice into her second grade class 2 years ago, and said all of the students agreed. It made everyone more kind to each other. And now it's something that at Sawgrass Elementary School, all the second graders have a pause for gratitude. So the idea is it takes one person in the organization to create a spark, and the results will happen. So how do you bring something in like this? Well, you've heard me talk. We talk about, as adults, taking that time to model the behavior for children at home. And we certainly can't lead if we're not going to be the change we want to see, in Gandhi's famous terms. So I always prescribe a digital detox and meditation at night to calm the brain down, welcome sleep, reduce inflammation in the brain. We talked about that today, and then talked about taking controlled breath breaks, or what I call a brain break in school. For every teacher who knows her class, could you just find maybe, one time in the morning or in the afternoon to take a 3-minute breath break with your students? When the children are really young, in kindergarten, first grade, they often have fun lying down, doing controlled breathing, focusing on their different body parts. As children grow older, this can be done seated or even standing. It's a controlled breathing exercise. You can reach out to me. I'm happy to record something for you in your class personally. Just send us an email through info@drromie.com. And last but not least, what can we learn from the North Bellmore School District? This isn't a school district that is flush with a lot of money. They've actually had to make some very difficult cuts this past year due to budget. But when you let love lead the way, we replace the toxic systems that have broken down education and many other institutions like healthcare with mindful leadership. And mindful leadership always pause to be present, pause to give gratitude, and pause to be of service. And when we do that, we're allowing love to lead the way instead of fear. So I'm Dr. Romie. This is how a mindful revolution starts in education. There are school systems all over the United States doing this. I hear from private education all the time, but I want to bring it into the public school systems because I think if you're watching this, you would agree with me. There are too many children on ADHD meds, addicted to video games. They're not performing well in schools. And teaching mindfulness and mindfulness-based stress reduction is training our brains from a very young age for emotional intelligence, emotional control, and academic achievement. So thank you for joining. Hi, Catherine. Thank you. You're brilliant as well. And I want to give a special shout out to anybody who may be watching later who is either from the North Bellmore School District. Thank you all for having me. That was so beautiful this morning to meditate with you all in the elementary school system. I felt my old elementary school teacher, Mrs. Reed, and her presence with us. So thank you all for that. And a special shout out and thank you to Eastern Suffolk BOCES, the Board of Cooperative Education Services, who's worked tirelessly with me the last 2 years on this mission to bring mindfulness and meditation to their 52 school districts here in Long Island. I'm Dr. Romie. Have a blessed day. And remember to pause and take a moment of gratitude.